Dearly beloved, we are gathered today to get to this thing called life. Electric word, life, and that means forever, but that's a mighty long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The Grapevine, the Tampa Grapevine. Welcome back. We are taping this program for advanced class at Tampa Bay Community Network in the lovely city of Tampa, Florida. I want to thank Erica, advanced class, Tampa Bay Community Network, and everyone that provides the forum for the freedom of speech. Also, I want to welcome back my co-host, my father. By the way, happy birthday yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday. He doesn't look a day over, well, we won't discuss his age, but welcome back I believe this is Father and Son 10.0, so.
Something like that, yeah.
We're kind of upgrading like Windows right now. We're kind of going between, the Vista, the 8.1, and now this is 10. So we're trying to keep up with the times, folks. Bring your passport to clarity, your passport to the Grapevine. Too bad our Rays pitchers can't throw that well.
Well, they can actually throw that well. Batters can't hit anything.
Well, that's true. That's true, folks. We have our usual plethora of topics and only a short time to get through it. And as always, without further ado, or fondue, depending on your preference. First of all, I was telling Dad here, just getting out of my house, into my car, and getting to the studio today. And we're taping this program on April 16th. It's 1:37 in the afternoon, and as I said, a lovely day here in FLA. And Dad, I got the bag ready, got the show in the bag, as I like to call it. I'm ready to walk out the door. I'm all full of vigor and the rest of it. And I'm all of 2 feet out my door, and suddenly, and I'm like, I literally, it was like, what in the world just happened? Wasp nails me right in the back of the head. Now, attention, Wasp. Whatever I did to piss you guys off like a year ago, if perhaps I might have blogged about you, may have said something ill will, maybe the bees picked up some chatter that they perhaps passed on to you. I've always been bee friendly, love your honey, but Wasp, you keep building up those little...
It wasn't an insect, it was a CIA drone.
Dad, we're going to talk about drones, and in fact, I've mentioned drones many a time on my show, and I'm thinking they're starting to follow me and actually shoot like little Israeli lasers into my head, which may explain a lot in the next 56 minutes as you watch this program. But I've never been stung by a wasp until last year, and I went over to my friends, Bill, or my veteran friend, by the way, Bill, thoughts and prayers. He had to go to the VA in the hospital. And he's in rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation, so we want to send our thoughts and prayers out to him. But Dad, a year ago, went to knock on his door, and he had one of those dark brown doors. I went to knock, and there was a big old wasp nest sitting right there I didn't even see, and guess what I knocked on? Hello, wasp nest. Dad, I am not proud to say this, and the folks that are watching this, and I appreciate the 3 of you. Hold on, no. Okay, the dog that's sitting next to the couch, I appreciate your patience, but we're going to talk about stuff like that. But the wasp, I'm not proud of this, Dad, but I got stung not only in the head, but the arm, and I started running like Forrest, but it was more like a little girl. I was like, ah, Then, that was at my friend's house, Bill. Let's set the future machine like 2 months ago, walking out my door, boom, right on I'm getting wasp freckles. I've actually got freckles from wasp now. I've got enough freckles from the sun when this man and my mom left me out on the beach and went, you think he's done yet? No, flip him over, he's almost well done. We won't go there.
That was a bee?
Yeah, and I still got, my back has got sun freckles. If you look at it at a certain...
And we had an umbrella.
Yeah,
reflection.
The SPF, there was we couldn't even spell SPF back then, but... So anyway, just getting to the show, I suddenly get poof, into the head. So now I'm on, and Dad, this is something that it's amazing the people in your life that you run into that have effect on you. And about 8 or 9 years ago, when I was, my friend Tyrone,
yep.
I was off Armenia, next to the good Cuban sandwich shop.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to talk about Cuba. Cuba's coming up, so we might as well preface this conversation by, yes, we both love Cuban sandwiches, the good ones. And
Bodega.
Yeah, but when I was heading to the show back then, I always feel old when I go back in the day when I was heading to the show on my covered wagon, I'd see this man in a wheelchair, and he had one of those old-fashioned wheelchairs. I bet he had cerebral palsy, and I knew he had cerebral. I've had a friend of mine that had cerebral palsy, and this guy was in rough shape. He was probably in his mid-20s. And he couldn't even get close to the car. You know how you see all the guys with their signs and they're going up and down the cars, and we're seeing more and more homeless people these days than ever. And Dad, I'd see this guy on the way to the show or on the way home, and I always have that I keep a Crown Royal bag in my car, a little Crown Royal, and I keep my change on it. I just unload my change on him. And I normally don't do that, but this is the kind of person that he's not going to be able to get a job. He's not going to be able to, he's just surviving. 8 years I've seen this man. Then suddenly I didn't see him at all for like several years. Well, now I'm living up by Fletcher, and right now we're off Fowler. And if anyone's familiar with Tampa, we're off Fowler and University Mall, in the mall. Be careful. It's a long story, but anyways, Dad driving, after I got stung by the wasp, I'm pulling off 275 on Fowler. And normally, the sad thing about it is he's so physically challenged that it's hard for him in that old wheelchair to get to the car. So then you're sitting there and you got people piling up behind you, and you're trying to hand him the money, and he can't come, and you're thinking, God, if I get out. And a couple times, and I apologize to the folks that were honking at me, but frankly, I don't give a crap. Yeah, be that as it may, I got out of the car to go hand him the money. Well, today, guess who I see sitting there at the light? And there's no one behind me. No one. I mean, I'm sitting there looking around, Dad, going, wait a minute. Am I in a Twilight Zone episode here? Wait a minute. No traffic, no nothing. Saturday afternoon, heading to the studio, and who do I see? And I get out of the car, and I literally stop, and this is the word of the day, literally. I will be using that more than a few times, and Dad will roll his eyes. But I stopped the car and got out and handed him a $5 bill, and I said, I never got your name. And he goes, where you been? He goes, where you been? And he remembers me. And I always make it a point to say, God bless you, I wish you well, but I hand him a $5 bill. And I go, what's your name? He goes, John. I go, John, and he had an electric wheelchair. He had a new wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
So somebody somewhere is making sure this guy's getting taken care of, but he's just one of those people that, and now, picture this, I'm driving to the studio, I've been bitten in the head by a wasp, which still hurts, by the way, thank you. And I've seen my buddy John here, and I give him some money, and I'm thinking, Dad, it's just, the days you wake up and you think, appreciate what you got, appreciate what you have in life, because when you see somebody like that, I'll look at you over there. She's like, kumbaya. I know, and Dean's gonna start crying. Hold on, Dean doesn't normally cry in the show until like 30 or 40 minutes into the show, so we're only about 9 minutes into it. So folks, trust me, and besides, I don't want to see Erica in advanced class. She's looking at me right now, she's like, ah! Yeah, here's I wish I could show you this shot. It's like the inside of the control room, and she's doing, and I'm like going, no, Okay, so. I get to here to the mall, and I'm parking. And as I tell my dad before the show, we're going to talk about Cuba and Florida, some of the history, and Cuba and Florida has such an integral thread when it comes to Florida.
Both owned by Spain.
Yeah, both owned by Spain. We're going to talk about the 1898 Spanish-American War. We're going to talk about Rana first. We're going to talk the Cuban, the cigars. We're going to talk about. He's brought a book about Jose Marti. Is it Marti? Marti, Jose Marti. And anyone that knows their Cuban heritage and history, you'll know who that name is. My dad educated that. I remember the name, but I wasn't quite sure what was going on there, so he's the teacher. But just happened to be getting out of my car, and I noticed an older couple had parked, and they walk away, and suddenly the guy walks back, and he starts doing this on his door. And I know I've got OCD. We all do to a certain extent. But I'll lock my door, Dad, and I'll walk away, and I'm thinking,
Did I lock it?
Did I lock it? It's like, I go back and I go, 99.999% of the time I do. So anyway, excuse me. Let me getting choked up here a bit. Hold on. And we're going to talk about the importance of water, by the way. Drink more. This man drinks more water than camels do. But really nice they seem like a really nice older couple, and he's doing the door thing, and I go, oh, I do that too. And he looks at me and he kind of smiles. He goes, oh, we're just tourists. And I'm like, oh, well, you have a good day. I just, I do the same thing with the door. And something in the back of my head, in between the wasp bite and the gel in my brain, Dad, said, where are you from? Oh, it's our first time here. We're tourists. I said, we're from Cuba. I'm like, of all the things, of all the people to meet on my way into doing the show today, and we're in the one topic after I discuss my harrowing ride, or my adventure to the studio, I meet this lovely Cuban couple. And it was the first time they'd been able to visit the United States with the new the leniency on the travel restrictions. And they were here to visit their daughter, and they were just the nicest people. And I'm like, well, God bless, have a wonderful time. Welcome to America, welcome to Florida. I almost want to hold up a sign, go, welcome to America, but good times. And but I thought that was interesting. Obama begins historic Cuba trip. Oh, so hold on a sec here. Oh, folks, that's what you call advanced class. Holding up the headline, and suddenly you go, wait a minute, that's my dad over there. So I'm like, how do I do this? But yes, Obama begins, and by the way, I want to thank Erica and everyone pressing the buttons in there. And as Erica says, I tend to press a lot of buttons. But Obama steps into Cuba in history. He put his toe in the sand, sir. And then we have New Day in Old Cuba. Yes, one of the things I love is the shots of the city of Havana and all the 1950s cars. Because basically the last time they bought a new car was in the 1950s, and it's amazing, Dad, that they've actually been able to keep these things going with duct tape and.
Oh, yeah, but they're so Campbellized that they're not even the body's it.
Yeah. So, we have BAM storms Cuba, and you're a big fan of the New York newspapers, Dad. Yes. Love the New York Post. It's our.
Oh, they endorsed Trump.
Yes. Well, how could they not?
Yeah.
Shay, can you see me?
Oh, gee.
That. Come on. Where's the history? Where's the love here? Come on. They love the headlines. Yes, folks. Presidential race. You got your Trumps. You got your Cruzes. You got your Clintons. You got your Sanders. You got none of the above. Then you have independents who still can't quite figure out who they are. Folks, presidential race surges past $1 billion, Dad. $1 billion. Is it worth every penny, Dad? Are we picking yet?
Well, we're trying to get the best politicians that money can buy.
Absolutely.
Even Jose Marti, when he was in the States during the 1880s, griped about he wanted democracy, but he would gripe about all the bosses who were buying the political campaigns.
Well, some of the things you spoke about him he was basically speaking almost in that sense of those people, the corporations are controlling. It's like Teddy Roosevelt, busting up the monopolies, and we saw that even in the 80s when they started figuring out again. Well, that whole AT&T thing, we may want to split that up, and yet guess what now?
Taft-Hartley.
Guess what? Guess what's happened, Dad? And we'll go back to Cuba. The Lehman Brothers, the Goldman Sachs people. Guess where they all go after they finish working there? They go to the Treasury Department. They go to the people that run and control the banking system. Then you wonder why it's so lenient. And by the way, we will be speaking about the fines, but getting back to Cuba, one of the things I love about Cuba is the history. Jamel, a good friend of mine who's a local elementary school teacher here, loves the teachers. A great girl, but Cuban people have such a rich history and such a rich heritage. And we were speaking about 1898, the Spanish-American War. And by the way, the USS Maine, if they ever did a Law and Order episode on the USS Maine, they go, we have no idea who did it, but we're going to blame the Spaniards because Randolph Hearst went, evil Spaniards, we need to take them out.
Well, we wanted Cuba and we wanted the Philippines.
Absolutely. And then, of course, we talked about Panama, which you educated me on the fact that it was part of Colombia.
It was Colombia.
Until
we went in there and go, hey, we'll give you guys some money if you get away from.
No, Dad,
Colombia.
It was the early 1900s. We'd spent 3 cents an acre on Alaska. Quality deal. Good return on that, by the way. We lived there. I graduated high school there. Love you, Alaska. Shout out to Robert Service High. Class of 85. Barely. Did I say that out loud? Sorry. Let's rewind that for just a second. But no, I love the 1898. We were not a world power at the time. We were still scraping something together after the Civil War, getting our stuff together. McKinley had gotten shot. The gold standard is established, and then Hearst is every day. Randolph Hearst in the newspaper was putting big cartoons about the evil Spanish. Kind of like reminds me of. The evil Taliban, the evil ISIS, the evil Al Qaeda, tomato. Whoever they want to scare the crap out of us currently. www.fearthe.com. Don't look it up because, frankly, you don't want the search. You don't want that in your search engine. But
Communists, Taliban, ISIS.
Oh yeah, we have to, Dad. We have to label everything.
Yeah.
We must fear the label.
Well,
But
of
anyway,
course, the label industry is a big lobbyist. They got a lot
that's true.
of
Of
lobbyists.
course, the Made in the USA label was made in China, but that's another story. But 1898, that's what a big part of it is. A lot of the military was stationed in Tampa at the time. Really built up Tampa. I know the cigar industry built up Tampa, but the military, I mean, you can imagine wearing those wool outfits in the summer of 1898 and like that in Tampa. I'm sweating in this nice, nice button-down shirt. And those folks are out there carrying, 50-pound packs and guns. They'd be like, just show us the Cubans. Frankly, we're all sweating to death here. But it really establishes a world power, and it's quite interesting. I wonder, nobody's ever really done I've seen History Channel subjects about the USS Maine, 1898, the Spanish-American War, but that was really what established America as a world power. And then 4 years later, Panama, Theodore Roosevelt said, I'll give you 3 cents an acre for that Panama Canal. And the Panama went, no. And 2 days later, revolution, we need a revolution, which goes to then Cuba. 1958, Batista, what do we need? We need a revolution. Castro couldn't, he didn't make the Cincinnati Reds baseball team, so he said, what do? I take over a country and smoke cigars. Dad.
Well, Batista was the worst. I mean, at that time in Cuba, 5% of the people had 95% of the money. And so consequently, they're going to get upset.
Sounds like America. Sounds like America.
AT&T and the mob basically owned Cuba. So, my goodness.
Yeah, a lot of rich history there, sir. A lot of rich history. But anyways, presidential races, $1 billion and counting. Yes. And by the way, the Republican convention, can't wait to that circus.
Oh boy.
Cannot wait to that circus. Somewhere Ringling and Barnum Bailey circus is going, we could have been sponsors for this Republican convention.
Well,
because bring out the elephants, which is the Republicans. Bring out the Democrats are what, donkeys or horses' asses? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, but Trump's going to come up in a clown car, and all these bozos are going to get out of it anyway.
Oh, and then of course we spoke about Ted Cruz, who looks like he might be the announcer of the Ringling Brothers Barnum Bailey circus, and he kind of looks like the Penguin. He looks like Bela Lugosi as Dracula, and the Penguin from Batman had a baby. Maybe Ted Cruz. Bernie Sanders, love you, brother. Like to invite you to Thanksgiving. Like to hear your war stories and whatever, being back in the day. But folks, socialist. Shh, hold on, Dad. He's a socialist. Now, folks, 99.9% of you out there. Okay, he's a socialist. What is he, social? No, it doesn't mean he shows up at cocktail parties.
Takes high tea. Good
point. And by the way, the green tea is much better. But socialist and communist, they were kind of likened together because America, our government went socialist and communist, and frankly, the rest of them are just ist.
Well, basically, Canada's got a great deal of socialism going on there. As a matter of fact, the most advanced countries in the world today are socialist countries.
So getting back to the Republican convention, yes, Sunday, Republican convention, be there, Gravedigger Jr. and Trump. Yes, monster trucks and monster Republicans.
And monster hair.
Yeah, actually demonstrous hair. Sir, I've actually come to the conclusion that is not a wig, it's not a toupee. No, he didn't shave a baboon from China and have the hair sent over and put on his head, although that was a rumor. He's actually taken his back hair and did a comb over.
Yeah.
They seeded his back hair with like some kind of steroid, like one of those hair club for men things, but it didn't take up here.
It's a back hair club for men.
It's actually back. That's the reason why you never see the back of him, because his hair actually starts from about midpoint right here. And if he catches a bad windstorm, sir,
it'll be like this.
I'm at a loss for words because frankly,
that or the Flying Nun.
Yeah. Somewhere Sally Fields is going, you like me, but Cruz hears rallying cry. Hold on, did you hear it? Rallying cry, Dad. No, that was just a baby going, feed me. I don't know. At first I was Hillary, then I'm thinking Trump. Trump scares the living crap out of me. By the way, that's the third time I've said crap on this show, and I apologize to family, friends, and small animals if I've offended you, but frankly, we get... Hold on, fourth time. So
Well, that's the Cuban Revolutionary Air Police.
almost, what is that, was that like one guy flying a drone, or, it's like, okay, massive leak, and frankly, sir, we frown upon leaks, especially at our age, and I'm starting to get to that point where, and if it's a weak stream, I'm worried if the river behind my house is weak, or is it just me? But massive leak reveals money rings of global leaders. Dad, this was the most shocking headline ever in the history of April 4th, 2016. Of course, replaced the next day with another shocking headline. Whereas my mom loves to say, we wake up tomorrow and we're on to the next story, which I love. Love you, Mom. Dad, I couldn't believe it, but information came out that world leaders and countries are hiding money.
Goodness.
I am shocked. I'm awed. I'm actually, hold on, I'm starting to get the vapors here. Whoever wrote this article and whoever leaked that information, you're about 150 years too late. They've been doing it forever. Heck, I think even the Egyptians did it. I love this. Worldwide, jaws drop. And frankly, we frown upon jaw dropping around here because it's like name dropping. It's not good. The Panama Papers, Dad, and we spoke about Panama. Ripples, isn't that like a cheap wine or Ripple?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Ripples felt across the world because I think they're drinking the Ripple or the Mad Dog 2020.
Well, they wanted even in Iceland, they wanted the prime minister to step down because his name came out in that.
And here's a trivia fact, folks. Guess what? The first country to file bankruptcy. I'm talking not just some guy Joe Iceland in Iceland. No, Iceland actually filed bankruptcy. Thank you. Dad, swimming, underwater threats. We're looking at, in fact, Erica, advanced class, you in there? Okay, they're awake. I know, most people by now were, 22 minutes into the show. We appreciate those that are still awake. By the way, this show is airing this coming Thursday, which is 17, 18, 19, 20, 22nd. So right now, set the future machine. It's April 22nd at 9 o'clock. It's live.
AM or PM?
5 days. PM. Yeah.
2,100 hours.
Erica, could you put the setup that has the pool in the background? The little water thing? I appreciate that. I like the trees, by the way. We've been watering that, and in case we ever get legal marijuana in Tampa and Florida, it's medicinal purposes. It really is. It's for the glaucoma. Okay, we're going to have to cut that part out. Underwater threats. Not to make light of this, but so many times, and I've spoke about this, folks, is the children that die in pools. Dad, we are number one when it comes to pools and children and dying, drowning in lakes, retention ponds, or just situations where they don't have locks on the gates of the pool. There's no pool covers, and in an instant, within just minutes, you turn around and you lose track of your child, and you have a pool or some near even a community pool. There was a small child that died in a community pool, Dad, where there was 100 people around there, and the child just got swept underneath, and within minutes, the child was gone. We had a situation in Port St. Lucie where I helped rescue a young kid, and it was a younger brother of my best friend at the time at Port St. Lucie in the 70s. It was one of those community pools where they actually put the child pool right next to the deep end. That was some brilliant planning, folks.
Jamie.
Yeah. And I rescued Jamie, and I remember sitting there, Dad, sitting there in the chair. I just got out of the pool, and I remember watching in slow motion as that kid got out of the little kiddie pool side, walked right across all these people and went right down the deep end, and nobody moved. And I'm like, and then thankfully somebody realized that I jumped in because I pulled him up, and they went, "Ah, here's the kid, great." I'm like, "Arm up, down here, save me." But but the best things is, growing up in the Keys. God, I miss that so much. Boyce and Pat Parks.
Yeah.
One of the things that we talk about a lot is my mom's parents, Boyce and Pat Parks, Summerlin Key, some of the biggest inspirations in my life. In fact, got a little surprise here, Dad. Recognize this?
Oh,
Folks,
yeah.
can we get a shot of this? The Railroad That Died at Sea. This was written by my grandmother, and it is in the Library of Congress. And it's an amazing book, the Florida East Coast Key West Extension. Pat Parks, who worked for the Key West Citizen for 17 years, interviewed the Beatles when they were down there. One of the most amazing things that inspired me to work with the local EPA and the University of Florida. I got Hillsborough and Tampa to start testing the waters for atrazine, which was our generations of DDT. And Pat Parks actually fought, because back then, remember the DDT spraying back then? Literally, they were just napalming entire neighborhoods trying to get rid of
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes, and she realized that there's, at a certain extent, you're trying to kill off the mosquitoes and avoiding one thing, you're causing a whole different set of problems. But Google this. It's an amazing book, a lot of good facts. And Pat died, I can't believe this. She died in 1982. It's hard to believe. It's been 34 years. And this woman, to this day, my mom's mom, inspires me, and my mom's father.
She also wrote for the Purple Martin News.
Yeah, just an amazing lady. So I have to show this. I saw this today, and right before I left, I'm like, I think we need to talk about this. So God bless you. God bless you. Still inspire me, but getting back to the pools and but just swimming and at my grandparents', it was such an amazing thing right there in the canal, the house that my grandfather built, my mom's father, and just, we didn't even have a television, folks. We didn't need one.
Oh, we got one in 1960. Your grandpa did in 1969, so we could watch the moon landing.
Yes, which
we couldn't see squat anyway.
By the way, nice segue, because we have a NASA update, and we love NASA updates. Colleen Tang, yes, Colleen Tang, and folks that actually get that reference are my age. But the underwater threats, the undertow, when we were living also in Port St. Lucie, I remember one time you and me, we'd gone to the beach and you went off snorkeling, and we were kind of on one side of the beach where most of the people weren't. I remember just going in the water, and suddenly it was like, I got swept under, and I was luckily I didn't, because the one thing, folks, if you want to teach your kids, the number one safety when it comes to pools, lakes, oceans, panic. Do not panic, because even if you're an adult, it causes most people to drown, because if you panic, you wind up losing any sense of how to get yourself.
You don't think.
Yeah, you don't think.
It's just all reaction.
Exactly, and it's important. And then, even though I was a good swimmer, guess what? When we moved up to Clearwater, you guys took me to we got swimming lessons. And then I went to and then also the YMCA, and that's. The more education you have, the less fear you have. So when you are put in situations, whether it be saving another life or saving your own life, folks, very, 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 very important. Teacher of the Year gets students ready for life. Dad, we have good news. It only took us 28 minutes to find the good news. Yes, I know, sometimes it's an archaeological dig. I have to call in a team, a lot of big machinery. But Teacher of the Year, and I really thought that was just pretty neat. Mary Beth Radigan didn't have a speech ready because she didn't think she'd win. As an educator for autistic and intellectually challenged disabled students, Plant High School's Mary Beth Radigan was honored as Teacher of the Year. And she's a 29-year veteran of special education and needs, and just, teachers are so important. They really are.
And so underpaid.
So underpaid, yes.
Governor Scott, state legislature, hear this?
Yes, and every teacher will agree with you. And as having some very dear friends of mine as teachers,
well, when
they've told me the pitfalls of doing something they love to do, but yet are not properly rewarded.
When I graduated from high school, Clearwater High School, 1966, I was going to become an English teacher. I started looking into different counties throughout Florida. The highest paying county at that time was Okeechobee County. They started you out at $9,000 a year. I was running room service at a Hilton on Clearwater Beach. I was making darn near that in high school. And it hasn't changed hardly a darn bit since then.
Nope, it truly hasn't. And speaking of going back to school, folks, PE, playtime. Yes, a common theme on my program, the Tampa Grapevine. As someone who's struggled with weight all my life and is struggling with weight right now, and losing weight as we speak. In fact, I had my calorie counter. In the first 29 minutes, I've lost 0.01 calorie doing this program. And I want to thank you, folks, for allowing me. They say the camera adds 10 pounds. Well, I've got 3 cameras staring at me right now, and that's 30 pounds, bro. That's a lot of peer pressure. And these are not gluten-free cameras, not gluten-free. And one thing I want to talk about too is, getting back to playtime. At one point, there was only one high school and one elementary school state that required PE, and that was Illinois. Illinois was also one of the fattest states. We've taken PE and playtime away to do more testing time.
Oh, yeah.
So in other words, little Johnny and Susie and the rest of them can all fill in the bubble, but guess what? They look like bubbles, okay? And I'm glad to see, and this is something, they used to print the school lunch in the paper. Guess what you don't see anymore? You don't see the school lunch. It used to be a very, I used to, when I was doing the weekly live show, every week I'd do the school lunch program, and I'd get kids and students and teachers calling in going, you know, we actually do want some decent food here, believe it or not. And we talked about this in Alaska when my senior year, they removed all the somewhat healthy food, and suddenly it was pizza, milkshakes, hamburgers, you know, and I'm sorry, man.
David Kowalski took over the school lunch program.
It's all about the money.
In Anchorage.
It's all about the money. In fact, Erica and there, can we get some maybe a little transition? Actually, Erica, do me a favor. Can you like do the Walking Man? I know she's like, Dean, don't bring up the Walking Man again. It's my Optimus Prime from the Transformers. But there's little certain transitions like coins fall. Oh, there we go. Okay, but do me a favor. You're walking on my dad, and I think you just walked across me. Do the far shot. Do the far shot. Okay, this is the director and producer, me and Erica in the dance class is going, Dean, just do your show and stop messing with the graphics. But do the far shot. Okay, no, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, now do the Walking Man. Okay, pull out Optimus. Come on, I'm easily amused here. You know, we only do this in one take. It's just like, but see if you, no, come on. No, we need to do, hold on. I'm not letting you go with this until I see this. Oh, isn't that I'm sorry, but.
That's cool.
That is cool. Okay, I'm hoping it was worth it. And thank you, advanced class and Eric in there. She's like, I just lasered Dean. She's like, okay, if you don't shut up about the Walking Man, I'm going to shoot you with a laser again. So thank you once again, and God bless America. So, yes, it's the childlike innocence of me that I hope never goes away, but we're seeing diabetes type 2 in children as young as 9, Dad. Yeah. It never was discussed until like in your 50s. We have become such a society where we're all going to be, we're all going to have bad necks because everyone's leaning down.
Well, that and your thumbs are going to become style-eye instead of thumbs. We're actually going to lose because we won't have opposable thumbs.
Yeah. It's going to look like the intro to 2000, the Space Odyssey, where the monkeys are rising up and the music, dun, dun, we're going to be like, Oh, by the way, there we go. Cool transition. Yes. Anything to split me into 4. But summer camp is coming, folks. Kids, get out of the house, get off the computer, step away from the phone.
There's some great things in St. Pete down at Lake Maggiore. They offer a wonderful summer camp program for it's like $60 a week, and they feed them and everything. Drop them off at 8 in the morning or whatever, and pick them up at 4 in the afternoon, and they're out there enjoying nature and learning all at the same time, and actually getting some exercise instead of sitting there going,
"Well, Dad, can you sign me up? Am I too old?" Because frankly, $60 a week, they feed me, they put me, they take me out to the woods.
They even give you a nap time.
Well, that's actually, as I get older, nap time's crucial. I was not a big fan of the nap time when I was younger because I'm thinking I could be out playing kickball, I could be doing something, But so if I'm eligible, please sign me up, sir. And in fact, he's like, anything I can do to drop them off between 8 and 5, I'm signing up here. But summer camp, get out, folks. Get out. Concussions has been a big issue when it comes to NFL, when it comes to sports. And look at that. I think, in fact, even the screen started bouncing around like a concussion. Brandy Chastain, who's an amazing soccer player for the women's team. By the way, the soccer team, the women's soccer team, they get paid $1,000 for every win when it comes to the World Cup and the Olympics. The men get paid $17,000. Equal pay for equal opportunity. And frankly, the ladies' soccer team wins a lot more than the men's team, and frankly, they're a hell of a lot better looking than you guys. But anyways, equal pay, guys. Equal pay. But I know, and she married Garcia Parra, former Red Sox. I loved you, Mia Hamm, for a long time. Loved you. Then you married our Boston Red Sox player. Still love you, but Socks? I'm sorry. Maybe she was drunk. No, I didn't say that. Rewind. But concussions we're seeing, especially in female athletes, younger female athletes. Soccer,
headers,
and volleyball, and the headers. And they're actually making rules now where children under 11, boys or girls, cannot do headers in practice or in games. And that's when you got the soft tissue. And obviously, I must have taken a few headers when I played soccer. Not that I have any problems, but folks, it's something very serious, and parents are even debating on putting their children into football, and these kids from Pee Wee football on to high school and beyond that, if they get to play, that's a lot of contact, folks. That's a lot of contact. So be aware, and if you see any signs of a concussion or anything like that when your children are playing sports, it could even happen in baseball if you take one off the head or something like that. It happens in anything where there's contact. I see people in the mall and Walmart probably get concussions every day. They keep walking into stuff. I know who you are. But Rays, baseball. Dad? Dad? Hold on, did you hear that? No, I thought they scored a run. I must have been mistaken.
No.
It must have been a fire truck that just went by.
That was from remembrances past.
Yes, but we do have good news. Uplifting force. And that's one thing I always loved about the sports page, Dad. Most of the time they have such wonderful headlines if the team wins.
Well, the Bolts are doing well.
That's what I'm saying. Dad, that's what I'm showing right now.
Okay.
We won 5-2. We're beating Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit, come on, guys. I love hockey, and I love the Tampa Bay Lightning. I wish them the best. We got to the Stanley Cup last year. We lost to Chicago. Great season, but we've come out like gangbusters. But it's kind of like in baseball. Anytime we can beat in baseball the Yankees, the Red Sox, any team from Philadelphia, I don't even care if they're like anybody. I don't care if it's it's but let's just say beating Detroit in hockey, not so much in baseball, but Detroit, Boston, Philly, Florida, stinking Panthers. And by the way, I want to point out one thing. Jeff Vinik, an amazing owner of the Tampa Bay Lightning. What he's done to looking and planning on $1 billion revitalization of the downtown Tampa. And Dad, I've been here back in Florida 15 years, and I've heard constantly, all the time, what do we have to do to make Tampa viable, downtown Tampa, where people actually want to live there, people want to go down and visit, people want to go to restaurants. And he has taken something that needed a big shot in the arm and has done so much for it. And it's charitable work. They've given out millions of dollars to just amazing charities.
Well, the Steinbrenner family also did.
Steinbrenner family, absolutely. And that's one thing, folks. If you
stand the Yankees, but
yeah, I know. And for
Mr.
him,
Steinbrenner did a heck of a job here when he was still
for this
alive.
man to say anything regarding the Yankees is something good. It shows you that Steinbrenner did good, and his family, I hope, continues that good. But I love to see people that rise above and they give back. They give back to the community Vinik is making money, but he's giving back. And that's, when you rise yourself above, folks, bring somebody with you, because otherwise you can stand on the top of that mountain, but it's not so much fun when there's no one there to help or, someone to, I don't know.
You're all by yourself.
Or you're all by yourself. Yeah, absolutely. MacDill Air Force Base, Dad, 75th anniversary. I want to take this time to thank every veteran, every person that fights for our freedoms. We would not be sitting here if it wasn't for that. And I want to thank just the armed forces and those who fight and protect, and those who have lost their lives, those who have been injured or post-traumatic stress syndrome, those that are in the family members, the support system, the VA. There's so many different levels.
Well, I go to the VA, and all the bad stuff you hear about the VA, they're doing this bad, they're doing that bad. I tell you what, when I go there, it's like gold. They take such good care of me. I went through prostate cancer, 2 months worth of radiation treatment. Those people were freaking fantastic, and I want to thank them, each and every one that works down there at Haley, because of that. Thank you.
Well, and thank you for saying that, because oftentimes, and that's one thing we tend to
gloat on the bad.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Dad.
Yep.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I sit there and look for good news, like on a telescope looking for Halley's Comet. It'll appear every 76 years, Dad. Oh, wait a minute. That's good news. It's flying by. Nope, that's just another drone. But no, the VA having...
That was Trump's wig.
Yeah. Actually, they say it circles the Earth every 36 hours. I don't know, or maybe perhaps his plan for the wall. In fact, I think he's having China pay for their own wall. I don't know, something like that. But that's just another theory. He's going large. He's going huge. And Pentagon deployed spy drones over USA. Surprise. Killer drones, a growing trend. Look,
The Wasp.
Look, yeah. In fact,
It was the
I was
Wasp.
bit by a killer drone on the way to the show. Walking out of my house, a small bug-like, wasp-like creature with a stinger and a small GoPro camera. In fact, the video of my head getting stung by this wasp will be on YouTube within more than
Actually
moments.
not. NSA's got that. It's classified.
Yeah, exactly. Target the bomber. We see a rather large head coming out of a house on Fletcher. Shh. Warning, danger. You may, oh, hold on. We have full sting. Killer drones, but this is one of my favorite stories, and God bless Mother Nature and those who incorporate it, trying to avoid things like killer drones. This is an eagle, and thank you for the leaves. I know we need to start doing a little spring cleanup here in the leaves, but see that eagle right there? And you know what that is right there where I'm pointing my finger? That's a drone. And guess what that eagle's doing? He took out the drone. They're training eagles and birds. Can you imagine the eagle? He's sitting there going, you want me to, here, I'll let you see this. You imagine the eagle, Dad. They're like, okay, this is the plan. We're gonna fly a small object, propelled object with a camera, and we're gonna fly it about 500 feet above the air, and we're gonna train you to take that thing out. And guess what? That eagle went, frankly, that thing's been pissing me off. I've been flying around here for the last couple of weeks, and that damn thing damn near hit me twice. So you want me to take out this drone? Sign me up, brother. Yep, he's an Eagle Scout. Yep. So, but I love it. So now I can just imagine, because there was a story about people flying drones above houses and people shooting the drone. No, don't shoot the drone. Just get yourself an eagle. Let's put the eagles to work. Even though we do need to protect them, but I love the fact I can imagine the bird going, "You don't even have to pay me. I'll take out that drone any second of the day."
Scaring away all the sparrows.
Exactly. Dad, the housing crisis, 2008 financial housing crisis. Oh, sweet Jesus, we bailed everyone out after, just like the Enrons and the AIGs and the rest of them. But guess what happened? The banks may have done some, what's the word?
Shaky stuff?
Shaky? Shady? Unscrupulous? That's a good word, unscrupulous. Actually, I think we'll use that word.
Is there a word, scrupulous?
It's a Greek word from the scrupulous family. They
own the Tavina.
What he said.
The restaurant.
So, Dad, guess what? We're actually fining, and we're penalizing the billion dollar companies that screwed you over on your mortgage. Yes, they did, and you know who you are, companies. And by the way, my favorite story was the folks here in Tampa that got the notice from their bank that said we're foreclosing on you, even though they paid up and everything was fine. They went to the bank with the sheriff's office and said, we're foreclosing on you. We want your furniture and we want everything in this bank. Because if you're going to do it to us, guess what? We're doing it to you. I love their attitude. You can imagine the sheriff deputy walking in going, I'm actually for this. So, but Morgan Stanley had to pay $3.2 billion in 2008 financial crisis.
Nobody went to jail.
$3.2 billion. Dad, it's $3.2 billion. They can find that in the couch in the waiting room at Morgan Stanley. And they're like,
that's petty cash.
Yeah, they're like, wait a minute, you're taking our Starbucks fund? Okay, hold on here. Wells Fargo fined $1.2 billion for reckless mortgages. Reckless, Dad. We frown upon reckless, especially after 2 o'clock in the morning. But oh my God, $1.2 billion, Wells Fargo. How could they live?
And that probably was, they purchased Countrywide. Countrywide was involved in all that stuff.
Of course.
They got saddled with some of the debt from Countrywide.
In fact, Erica, we need some coins falling from the sky, not pennies from heaven, but advanced class, if we can press, maybe have a little coinage here, because I'm thinking the change in my pocket's going jing-a-ling-a-ling. And thank you so much. Thank you. And by the way, I'm going to need those later because it's hard times. But
got to pay for parking.
Yeah, got to pay for parking here. Whoa! Sorcery, Dad. That was sorcery. They just took the coins and they brought. I've never seen that.
It's going up to heaven. They're tithing the church.
Oh wait. Hold. I think I'm starting to get a concussion from all the coins hitting my head, but thank you. And speaking of coins, workers and firms differ on $15 minimum wage. Minimum wage. Let's talk about minimum wage. Oh, although before we do that, I love this headline. Rising pay, less picky employers boost labor. Let's read that. Let's see if you can read that. Rising pay, which is good. Less picky employers, which will take pretty much anybody. Boost labor. Good news, I think. But by the way, here's your job section. I know everything's on the internet these days, but here's your job section. It's 2 pages. I know. I remember the day where you can actually open up the job section, Dad. Back in the day, back in the 60s, when you can take your marker and you mark all the good jobs, and now, guess what all these jobs are? They tell you need to pay money to apply for the job.
Either that or they're telemarketers.
Or they're telemarketers. Please do not pay money to get a job, because you know what that's called? Stupid. Okay, but anyways, $15 an hour. Minimum wage, $7.25 an hour is our federal minimum wage.
That's about 2,000 hours worked per year. That's about $14,000.
But they get tax benefits, Dad.
Can you live on $14,000?
Christ, it cost me that much just to get here today.
I made more than that on Social Security.
I couldn't even afford to pay attention on that. Great program here. Tennis program supports special needs athletes. Clay Adams acknowledged that there was a situation where at the Tampa Catholic School, teachers and tennis coaches started to do a program on their own time where they took special needs people, adults and older children, teenagers, and they taught them tennis. And to me, this is yet another great story, Dad, where people step outside of their box, where, no matter where you work or no matter how you live or what you do in life or the people that you affect or don't affect by not affecting, it's people like this that go, you know what, we have something here that can actually benefit people that may never get a chance to do that, and they don't make money on it. They're not doing it for the thank yous. They're not, and if it weren't for people to actually point it out. And I know the newspapers and our media go, oh, wait a minute, Dean, what, Dad, what is that? That's something positive. But you know what's nice? So I'm starting to see a little more trickle of that. And keep it up, folks.
Just to pay it forward.
Pay it forward. And frankly, I'd rather read good news than bad news. And although the paper that was named Good News lasted 2 weeks, just saying. Anyway, sound recordings garner spots in the Library of Congress. Dad, and we spoke about the Library in Congress with my grandmother's book, which I have to show again, sorry. Railroad died at sea, love you, Grandma. But they do this thing in the Library of Congress where they'll vote on it, and you're familiar with that. But the thing I love is the first 2 things they point out that they include in this very prestigious honor of being included in the Library of Congress. The first 2 ones they mention is the George Carlin Seven Dirty Words, and Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points. That was the first 2 thing they mentioned. So I'm thinking, that just starts off the whole Library of Congress.
It sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah. We have 10 minutes left.
Oh, and we got to hit Cuba before.
We discussed Cuba before. What more, Dad?
There's a little extra in there.
Well, Dad, I tell you what. I said to him, carte blanche. If there's something you feel, because time flies, the floor is yours.
Good, because one of the things I wanted to say, there was a very nice article in the Tampa Bay Times the other day showing that there's a new app for the Jose Marti Trail where you can get the listening devices. You go up there and put your smartphone by it, and it tells you the story about when Jose Marti was actually here in Tampa trying to get money and arms and people in his fight against the Spaniards in his home country of Cuba. And Marti was a very interesting guy. He'd roll over in his grave right now because he thought that while democracy was very good, the fact that so much of it was purchased by the party bosses. He lived in New York in the 1880s, and he had Tammany Hall and all that stuff going on up there then. And he would probably, his idea of a democracy was one that was not done by the military, not done by professional politicians, but by people who wanted to contribute to their society. And another little bit of history on that. The Jose Marti Park here in Tampa is actually owned by the Cuban government. It's the only piece of property in the United States that's owned by the Cuban government.
When he told me that, I had no idea, and I think that's pretty sharp.
And I picked that up from the paper because I didn't know it either, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Erica, do me a favor. Will you keep that shot for a while? I love that shot. If you can keep that shot, we have less than 10 minutes left. I get the thumbs up. I always love it. All I see is like she kind of peeks between the computer and
computer.
And also you see the little thumbs up. So, okay. So,
well, it's better than a thumbs down. Otherwise, if we were in the arena, we get killed.
This is true. I'm going to scattershot a few things here. Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Easy for me to say. Sorry, Dad, I know you're going to think I'm a wimp for this, but I hate you, Sunshine Skyway Bridge. I hate that bridge. God, I hate that. I go up to the top of that thing, and I feel like when you're going over the side, you're like, all I see is sky, and then I think, oh my God. But anyway, that's another thing. Drivers, stop riding my ass. Stop riding everyone else's ass. I'm sorry, but
you're not
getting anywhere there quicker, okay? There's 5,000 cars in front of me. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. It's rush hour. We don't fly flying cars. Thank God, we'd all die. But stop. You wonder why Florida is one of the highest insurance rates in the industry. By the way, I want to thank Paul James Insurance. I started my new job with them February 1st this year. I just completed 10 weeks, and I am so blessed and grateful. I want to say thank you to Paul, and his wife Casey works there, Nathan, who's in Atlanta, where I was born, Bobby, Johnny, Gary, Diane, everyone down there with Allstate next to us. But it's so amazing, Dad. I didn't realize what a rut I was in until I actually got out of my last job and experienced a whole nother career path with some really special people. So I want to thank you guys so much for putting up with me and helping me with all my, by the way, they're all in their 30s, right? So they all know computers. I'm like, Nathan, can you help me with my phone? You know, Nathan's the guy that sits next to me. And I'm sort of, Nathan, can you help me with setting up my Gmail account? My Windows 10 just crashed my laptop. Can you help me with my Netflix? And at one point he's looking at me going, you have one more IT request, and then you're and that's it. But I want to thank you guys for putting up with all my, I feel like I'm working on an abacus, and I'm thinking, I'm really not sure what's going on here, but I want to thank, guess what, folks? It takes a village to raise a dean, and it takes a village to get dean into 2016 when it comes to technology. I want to thank also some of our viewers, Matt and Wendy and everyone out there. I want to thank, oh, by the way, the company that invented the cell phone that's a gun. No.
Lose it.
No. Dad, no. No, stop. I want to thank Panera Bread for providing me healthy food and everyone that works down there and the amazing ladies, the girls at Panera, Kenzie and Megan and Ashley and all the rest of them. I know it sounds like the Mickey Mouse Club, but I love them and I love their food and it's getting me healthy.
Cinco minutos.
Okay, House Bill 131 passed. An actual House bill that passed. Dad, stop the presses. And guess what House Bill 131 is? It allows Floridians to break into cars that has pets or small humans or even large humans like me that are stuck in a car with the windows up and it's hot and they will die. We finally passed the law. Dad, space poop. Space station gives huge trash can the boot. One day you're going to look up and there's going to be a huge asteroid of space poop. I'm just saying as a public service announcement. NASA to experiment with inflatable spacecraft. Dad, we're going to send a beach ball to space. It's either that or it's going to be shaped like Big Boy. It's going to be like a floating Big Boy in space.
They've been sending up weather balloons for years.
Well, I can imagine the aliens. The reason why the aliens haven't visited, frankly, they're like, you guys are a bunch of nuts. And now you're sending up inflatable astronauts? Wait, this is a family show. Okay, this is called Around the World in 80 Seconds. Erica, we're almost done. Thank you. Around the World in 80 Seconds. I will have to say, folks, that parental guidance is suggested. And this is called, and this loosely based on Jules Verne, but this is Around the World in 80 Seconds. And it's just encapsulating what we go through, and I want to dedicate this to all those who do it right. Okay, deep breath. Wish me luck, Dad, I'm going in.
Buena suerte.
Vaya con Dios. Lead toys, lead paint, educate, set a placate. Iraq misled, time to remove all the lead. Iran irate, separation of church and state. Afghanistan, Pakistan, doesn't seem like we have a plan. Benghazi, been looking, too many chemicals in the food we're cooking. Stem cells, prison cells, wars are being waged because of oil wells. War and terror, government tells us to be more aware. Medicaid, Medicare, sign up for Obamacare if you dare. School lunch, housing crunch, starting to feel like I took a punch. The mothers, the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the preachers, the teachers, babies crying, children dying, the pimps, the pushers, politicians, the morticians, the editors, the creditors, the predators, investigations, corporations, litigations, migrations, flu vaccinations, obviously way too much medication, what to do about immigration, to build a foundation for a new administration. What we need is determination, motivation, a little bit of dedication, and a slight bit of perspiration. And for those who serve our country and fight for our freedoms, my admiration and appreciation. And if the effects of this bit and the show last longer than 4 hours, please seek immediate medical help. That's around the world in 80 seconds. 2 minutes left. God bless America. And for those who just watched that and did not have a seizure, I applaud you. God grant me the serenity.
Next to him.
Yes, that's true. Frankly, he's like, I need a stiff drink after that. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And let's make the most of that, Dad. Like I said, every day you wake up and you draw breath and you have people in your life that love you, be more appreciative.
And do something nice for your neighbor.
Yeah.
For anybody. Just do something nice for a change.
How about this? Learn what your neighbor's name is. Actually, maybe introduce yourself one time.
Well, when I lived in Tampa, when I moved back down from Alaska, I lived in an apartment building. I would say hello to people, and they would look at me like I was, robbing them.
I know.
No eye contact, no nothing.
Well, Dad, and by the way, if I let one more person in when I'm driving and they don't wave at me, it's sad. We don't even know how to show appreciation when and in fact, if you do something good for folks, most of the time they look at you and go,
What'd you do that for?
What you talking about, Liz? What you do? Yeah. We got 1 minute left. I want to thank Erica. I want to thank Advanced Class. Mom, I love you. Every show is dedicated to you. Dad.
And don't forget your mother's birthday is the 27th.
Dad, I got Mother's birthday and Mother's Day within 2 weeks.
I know.
Mom's taken care of in 2 weeks. It's a beautiful thing. And I will be down there at the end of May. So in Fort Myers, I look forward to that. But just again, I want to thank you for co-hosting Father and Son version 10.0. We have 30 seconds left. I want to thank Erica, Advanced Class. And if I do one more hand motion here, you're going to think I'm signaling plays for the Bucks. But go Rays, go Lightning. Yeah,
that was a steal sign.
Yes, it was. It was a steal sign. And the sad thing was there was no one on base.
They're still practicing.
I'm sitting over there like, okay, either he's trying to land a small plane or a drone or something's horribly wrong. God bless America. We only have a few moments left here. Look upon somebody and be a good neighbor. Take care. God bless.
Adios.
Good night, and good luck. Vaya con Dios.
If what you see and hear in this picture will keep one of you, only one person, from taking that first step, our purpose has been accomplished, and we are humbly thankful.
Listen in tomorrow, same time, same station. Time marches on.
Wit is the only wall between us and the dark.